shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
It is a muggy start to our Monday morning. Eventually, that mugginess is going to team up with some high heat. I'll show you how many days this week could see heat advisories or even extreme heat warnings coming up.
Budget vote countdown. The major votes in front of state lawmakers this week and what we can expect from the new deal. Plus, tracking gas prices. The high gas prices affecting holiday plans and travel just days before the 4th of July. Yes, we are almost into July, if you can't believe it. Goodness gracious. Well, thanks for joining us here on this Monday morning on WRAL News. It is dark and early. I'm Chris Lovingood. Let's go ahead and swing over to weather with meteorologist Chris Michaels. Chris, I kept wiping my head coming in. It's a little humid out there this morning.
Just a little bit, right? Yesterday was my only day to mow the yard, and it was just sweating through everything. So that's definitely the case this morning as we give you a live look over Pinehurst, where there's some clearing in the sky. There's a little bit of fog in parts of the area, including but not limited to the Triangle. Right now it's 73, but that dew point of 72 is that thick air you can wear this morning. Right now, Fayetteville's at 75. All of us pretty much at 73 degrees. So we're all pretty much feeling the same out there this morning. As we go into the middle of the day, temperatures mid-80s. Highs today similar to what we saw over the weekend. Most of us in the Triangle and Sandhills reaching the lower 90s. But a major heat wave is likely this week. We're going to show you how many days have the potential for highs at or above 100 degrees. Some of the things you can do ahead of time to get ahead of that. That's coming up in a few minutes. Chris.
That sounds good, Chris. We'll come back to you in a bit. Let's get to some breaking news we're following. As a woman is dead and a man is in custody, and this is after a stabbing in Fayetteville. Investigators say this happened on Lansdowne Road near Skyborough Road just after 9 last night. Police say they found the woman who was stabbed and she died at the hospital. Neither the victim nor the man who was arrested have been identified. And the suspect in a deadly Harnett County stabbing is expected to appear in court today. Talking about Lisa Acevedo. She's charged with murder and the death of Victoria Young. That stabbing happened back in May on Dunroven Lane in Broadway. Acevedo was arrested over the weekend, and today will be her first court appearance. First on WRAL, North Carolina lawmakers reach a long-awaited deal on the state budget, and they aim to vote on it this week. Sources tell our NC Capitol team lawmakers worked through the weekend to get that agreement hammered out. Let's bring in Allie Kadlabar. She joins us live outside the state legislature this morning. Allie, the deal includes raises for state employees.
And it excludes some major proposals, Chris. People familiar with budget negotiations tell our NC Capitol team that they spent the weekend going back and forth trying to finalize spending priorities. Under the deal, state employees would receive their first raise in 2 years. Most workers would see a 3% increase in pay. State employees in corrections and some other public safety roles would receive much bigger raises, ranging from 10.1% to 17.7%, depending on role and classification. Teachers would also see pay increases, averaging about 8% under the agreement. But the final budget leaves out some major proposals that had been part of earlier discussions. A proposal to fund a Major League Baseball stadium didn't make it. WRAL first reported Senate leaders were pushing a framework for a $1.7 billion Raleigh stadium to support a Major League Baseball expansion bid. One proposal that did make it, new revenue sharing from sports betting taxes that would benefit NC State and UNC. WRAL state government reporter Caroline Yaffa says the legislature is expected to vote on the budget this week. Then it will go to the governor's desk.
The governor will actually get about 10 days to sign the budget into law. He could either sign it, not sign it, then it will become law. He could also veto the budget, and then lawmakers could have to start over the process, or they could quickly override Governor Stein's veto.
Now, as of late last night, lawmakers were still discussing the budget for things for smaller members, including things like new bridges or new fire stations. Reporting live in Raleigh, Allie Kadlabar, WRAL News.
And our NC Capitol team will be following these negotiations closely, so look for updates as they happen in the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com. Well, today the trial begins for a man accused in the deadly shooting of a driver on I-40 near Cary. 35-year-old Josue Alejandro Quintanilla Reyes is charged with killing Ricardo Cardenas in an apparent road rage incident. That shooting happened in March of last year, and we spoke with Cardenas' family. They say he was the father of 2 sons. He was going to work and didn't know the suspect before the shooting. The Cardenas family shared this message as they mourn their loss ahead of the trial.
One bad day or bad hour, you're gonna, destroy someone's life. We don't want this to happen again to someone else.
This month, Homeland Security agents arrested Quintanilla Reyes and charged him with possessing a firearm while being in the U.S. illegally. And court documents show Reyes' attorney filed a motion for the state's witnesses to avoid making references to his immigration status during the trial. They argue it could create an unfair bias. Well, gas prices are going down slowly ahead of the 4th of July. New data from AAA this morning shows Raleigh's average is $3.53. If you're traveling west, you'll see gas at about $3.51 in Greensboro and $3.63 in Asheville. Now, this will be the second most expensive July 4th holiday ever at gas stations, and well, it's causing some problems for drivers. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey joins us live now in Raleigh outside at least one gas station. Kelsey, some people are adjusting their vacation plans just to help save money.
Yes, Chris, they are. Gas here on Atlantic Avenue in Raleigh is $3.55 a gallon, and these travelers are not only taking note of the higher prices here at the pump, but higher prices for everything else like food and hotel stays. That's making them change their spending habits this 4th of July holiday. More than 2 million North Carolinians plan to hit the road this week for the 4th, according to AAA. Many travelers are changing their plans to offset the higher cost of gas, like choosing a destination closer to home or taking shorter trips. Maurice Gabriel says his family is cutting back on travel overall, and they're choosing to drive more instead of fly because even though gas prices are higher, it's still cheaper than flight cost.
Right now what we're doing is instead of flying to a lot of places, we're driving. We've actually cut back. We normally take about 5 to 6 trips a year, but this year we're probably going to only do 3 because of gas prices and airfares.
You can head to WRAL.com and search fuel to find the lowest gas prices anywhere. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Folks, temperatures are expected to hit the triple digits this week. That extreme heat means a higher risk for heat-related injuries. Now, from dehydration to heat stroke, doctors expect the record heat to affect people's health. WakeMed emergency physician Graham Snyder says he is expecting to treat dozens of heat-related injuries this summer. And we asked him about how to spot someone experiencing a heat-related illness.
There's a certain internal temperature, and it's different in different people, where the body stops working, where you'll start to get confusion, vomiting, and sometimes muscular injury and death.
Snyder says very young people and older people are the most vulnerable. His advice to help people avoid the emergency room is to introduce yourself to the heat slowly and stay hydrated. Also, never leave a child or pet in the car, even with the AC on. You can track the rising temperatures with the newly redesigned WRAL weather app. It's free to download from your phone's app store, but make sure you turn on push notifications. 3 firefighters died over the weekend in a large fire near the Colorado-Utah border. It's called the Snyder Fire, which has burned more than 28,000 acres there. Colorado's governor declared a disaster emergency and also authorized the National Guard to help with firefighting efforts. This is one of 2 fast-moving wildfires that are now burning in Colorado. Looks like the number of people killed in those 2 powerful earthquakes in Venezuela has risen to more than 1,400 lives. At last check, the Venezuelan government reports 1,450 deaths, with thousands of people still missing. Local and international rescue teams are racing right now to find more survivors, and they say the first 48 to 72 hours, those are the most critical for successfully finding people alive. It's now been 5 days since those earthquakes. The UN says right now there are more than 2,000 rescue workers from around the world assisting in Venezuela. A federal report points to apparent engine trouble before a plane went down last month near Knightdale. The NTSB says the pilot was a student. He reported engine issues while performing touch-and-go landing. That's when you try to land, take off, back and forth, etc. The report says the pilot realized he couldn't clear the tree line, so he tried to fly between a tree and a tractor trailer. Well, the plane hit both and crashed near Three Sisters Road. Both the pilot and the student suffered serious injuries but are expected to recover. A final report should be released in about a year's time. A man is in the hospital and another in custody after a shooting yesterday morning in Durham. This happened on Brighton Road in the Hope Valley neighborhood. Police say the man who was shot is expected to live, and we are working to learn what led up to the shooting and the names of the people involved. Hope Mills police are investigating an online sale that turned into an armed robbery. Officials say that a man set up a sale, and when the man showed up on Haskell Drive, police say 2 juveniles approached him with a gun. Officers say the juveniles ran off, and they have not been found. Well, today construction begins around the historic Market House in Fayetteville. Teams are going to be working on pedestrian improvements there. When the work is finished, there will be a large plaza, improved crosswalks, and new ADA accessible ramps. It's all part of a related renovation work that is going on, and it's been going on for months. Time on the clock this Monday morning is 4:40. Sports gambling benefits. The 2 Triangle universities that could see a cut from the money spent on sports betting. Just how many millions they could see every year. Plus, lose it and lose it. The effort to bring more police to the roads during one of North Carolina's deadliest travel weeks.
And so far across the country, heat alerts stretching from Florida to New England and Mississippi to Michigan. I'm going to show you how many days we could see these kinds of heat alerts in effect. That's coming your way in less than 10 minutes. .44 on your Monday morning. We'll get an update on the tropics. The already low chance of development off the southeast coast is already lower. Yesterday it was at a 20% chance. Today it's a 10% chance of us getting Tropical Storm Bertha. Local impact, regardless, is highly unlikely. Might be some increased surf or rip current risk. There's our area of low pressure developing off of the front that passed through yesterday. And there you see it just kind of meandering off the southeast coast, really not being any big player in our weather. In fact, a lot of sinking air behind that is going to lead to mostly dry next couple of days. In the meantime, if you plan on heading out to the beach, the rip current risk for today is nice and low from Myrtle all the way up to parts of the Outer Banks. We'll bring you back for our local forecast, show you how many days hit the triple digits this week, coming up in less than 5 minutes.
Oof, triple digits, goodness. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, as state lawmakers move closer to voting on a budget, one part of that deal would see UNC and NC State getting a cut of the money from sports gambling taxes. UNC and NC State are the state's largest and most popular college sports programs, but they've been left out of distributions from taxes on sports betting operators. That money has flowed to other state schools.
UNC and NC State have been lobbying about this issue since the dawn of sports gambling in North Carolina in 2024. All other 13 UNC system schools that have athletic departments have been collecting money during this time period. NC State and UNC have said, well, many people are betting on us. We should probably get a cut of that.
They want their money. And under the proposal, both schools would receive up to $5.8 million annually beginning July 1st next year. That's the same amount Appalachian State, Charlotte, and East Carolina are getting. The new proposal would also raise the tax rate on sports betting operators. The WRAL documentary unit actually explored this topic, the impact of sports gambling, in a recent project. It looks at the explosion in sports gambling, the surge in calls to gambling hotlines, and where the industry is headed next. You can watch The Gamble on the WRAL YouTube channel or wherever you stream WRAL. The Trump administration says it is determined to clean up the reflecting pool near the Lincoln Memorial. Workers painted the bottom of the pool blue ahead of the America 250 celebrations. But since then, there have been issues at the pool. Parts of the blue paint have begun to peel, and algae caused the water to turn green. A permanent system has been put in place to oxidize the water, which will help clear the algae. And President Trump is also monitoring other projects that he has, renovation projects across D.C. The president toured some of those sites yesterday, including the East Potomac Golf Links there. Renovations are expected to begin there in September. The president also toured the planned site for a triumphal arch at the entrance of Arlington National Cemetery. One of Big Bear's bald eagle chicks hit an unexpected milestone. One of the eaglets, Sandy, lost her balance and took her first flight yesterday afternoon. She fell on some branches nearby before freeing herself and flying to another area. Friends of Big Bear Valley say that Sandy appeared to fly well and is likely resting after the unexpected adventure. All right, so just a heads up, drivers, you'll notice more law enforcement on roads this week during their crackdown of drunk driving during the holiday week. Operation Firecracker is an annual effort that goes on during the Independence Day week in North Carolina. The week is one of the deadliest for travel. The operation ends July 5th. And ahead of the holiday weekend, Airbnb is cracking down on large bookings. The short-term rental company says it is using technology to ramp up enforcement of a ban on parties. Hundreds of people were blocked from renting out properties across our state last year during the 4th of July rush. The company looks at things such as the length of someone's stay and when it was booked specifically. Okay, let's go ahead and swing over to meteorologist Chris Michaels. He has a pretty gnarly photo there from Nightdale. John Ennis showing it. What is that right there behind us?
So that's a wall cloud, right? So it's evidence of a storm that's maybe trying to rotate. Thankfully, nothing dropped to the ground. But yeah, this was something that was taken yesterday evening. Thanks to John in Nightdale for that. No storms right now, but you do see some low clouds and some fog, and a great vantage point here from our tower there in Garner, and you can see those low clouds hanging out with us at least for a little bit of the morning. And you can even see when you watch Chris Lovingood over there at the anchor desk, if you look at the downtown Raleigh, you can see some low clouds and some fog as well. It is warm, it is muggy. Temperatures 72 to 75 already this morning, and it's only 4:49. Temperatures are going to stay in the low to mid 70s under a mostly cloudy sky between now and about 8 a.m. But similar to the past few days, Lewisburg, Rocky Mount, 88 degrees, Raleigh, Benson, Durham, Goldsboro at 91, Fayetteville at about 93. So plenty hot and plenty humid, but that's nothing compared to what we expect later this week. Let's back out the view here. This area of high pressure, that's going to be the cause of our heat wave. Beneath these large areas of high pressure, the air will sink, and as it does so, it gets hotter. So heat advisories, extreme heat warnings, they're a possibility, if not a likelihood, heading later into the week. Heat advisories are issued when the heat index reaches 104 to 109. Extreme heat warnings, they happen when you reach about 110 or above. That's something that on average happens once or twice per year, and we could wind up seeing that maybe as soon as Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and even Sunday look to be even hotter than that. So just make sure you're using common sense, staying cool, staying hydrated over the course of the next several days. Be checking on your pets, elderly neighbors, things like that. Tomorrow, low to mid 90s, nothing earth shattering there. Mid to upper 90s Wednesday, and then it's possible that we see 100 degrees or even slightly higher than that Thursday, Friday, and the 4th of July. And not much relief from the heat at night. Our overnight lows into the holiday weekend in the mid to upper 70s. Chris.
That's too many triple digits, Chris. All right, thanks for tracking that for us. All right, a new series and a new movie. One show is getting a second season, and a popular character from SNL gets a deeper dive. That's ahead in the Hollywood Minute. Plus, new healthcare center. The new Wake County nonprofit opening its doors to make sure women and girls have what they need. Well, every year after gets another year, and one SNL character is getting their own documentary. David Daniel gives us the inside look in today's Hollywood Minute.
We were always there for each other. I just want to be there for him now.
There will be more every year after. Prime Video has renewed the series for a second season, which will continue adapting the best-selling Barry's Bay novels by Carly Fortune.
The guys are bringing liquor, and the women will be bringing hors d'oeuvres. So you'll be bringing Pepto-Bismol.
The documentary We Are Pat looks at Julia Sweeney's iconic Saturday Night Live character and the evolution of gender identity in comedy over the past 30-plus years.
It was really just kind of looking at this character that is a contradiction. It really is both things. You know, Pat is transphobic, but Pat is also a non-binary icon, and Pat is funny, and Pat is, you know, of the 90s, but also weirdly relevant today. So I think that's what makes it like a really interesting, sticky, cool subject matter.
Screenings of We Are Pat are taking place around the U.S. this summer, and the documentary is available on digital platforms. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Well, women in need across Wake County have another option for access to health care. The Raleigh nonprofit No Woman, No Girl is opening its new Dignity Boutique on Capitol Boulevard. The shop provides free hygiene products to women in crisis through referrals from local organizations. The executive director says more than 400 women and girls received services in the last 30 days, and the need continues to grow as the cost of living rises.
There's so much happening in the world. You know, the economy, gas is high, food is high. So if a woman is hungry, she also needs access to hygiene products. The thing that we are addressing here at No Woman or Girl is really an invisible issue. It's something that a lot of people don't really talk about. It's something that we all really take for granted. So really here at No Woman or Girl, what we are doing really is transformative.
And the boutique is open Tuesday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. A new Wallet Hub report has put 2 Triangle cities among the best in the country. Durham and Raleigh were among the listed on the best run cities list there. Durham was the highest rated in the state at number 17. Raleigh not far behind, though, at 21. Cities were judged based on things such as financial stability, safety, and infrastructure. All right, today, 3 teams will advance in the FIFA World Cup and 3 teams will be eliminated. Knockout round action on Fox 50 starts today with Brazil versus Japan at 1 p.m. Then at 4:30, Germany plays Paraguay. And today's action wraps up with the Netherlands and Morocco at 9 p.m. Your time this Monday morning is 4:56. Budget vote countdown. The major votes in front of state lawmakers this week and what we can expect from the New Deal. Plus, tracking gas prices, the prices at gas stations affecting holiday plans, and travel just days before the 4th of July holiday.